That's bad.
Alright, what's going on, guys? So, I have been just busting hump trying to get things done around here. Got a bunch of stuff done on the Mustang, waiting on some parts now. The end flange for the drive shaft, that shipped out I think yesterday. So hopefully that'll be here in a few days and I can get that done, get that welded on, and I'm going to reuse one of the flanges off that. I was going to order a bunch of stuff and build like a robust 1350 U-joint drive shaft, but I was like, for right now, let's try and save a few bucks. This isn't going to be anything long-term, so we'll just run some 1330s for now. We're not going to do any gnarly trans brake launches. If we do and it breaks the drive shaft, well, Skylark, everything's good. Got this bay cleared out a little bit. You'll notice the laser's gone. I was doing some work on that, going through some wiring, changed the starter in it, and doing a few other things. And then it's over at my dad's now. He's fixing the brakes on it, which I was hoping it just needed a line, but 3 of the 4 and possibly all 4 calipers are junk. All the pads are junk. The rotors can probably be turned. So that's over at his place still. The calipers and stuff aren't supposed to show up until Tuesday. It's Thursday right now. Anyway, I got a space cleared out here so that I can move the ramp truck around, get that thing backed up, get the Chevelle unloaded, and start sanding on that in my free time. Because, oh, I don't think I ever showed you guys. I know I showed you guys that I got a glass hood for it, a glass SS hood. That's not here, that's over at my dad's still. But I also picked up some glass fenders for it. Now, do I need them? Are they necessary? No, not at all. But they popped up on Marketplace for a hell of a deal. I bought these like 4 months ago maybe, and I'm pretty sure I paid $200 for both of them. And they are brand new, never been mounted. And I just had to replace a fuel line on this thing yesterday. Yeah, the line that comes out of the tank goes through the floor. There's a rubber section that I had to replace. When I was cleaning up the frame, it started spewing, and cleaned up a couple of the battery connections. So this thing should be pretty good. Hopefully it's going to take a second to suck the gas back up to the carb, but it should fire right up. Alright, so went to fire this thing up, fired right up, and then it stalled. Weird, but okay. Old ass carbureted engine. Let's fire it back up. It wouldn't fire back up. Sprayed some starting fluid on it. Fired up, died. Fired up, died. Interesting. Looked at the filter, At first I was like, is that thing full? But then you might be able to see it. There's a little bit of fuel in that bottom corner jiggling around. So this thing's not sucking fuel up. I did just replace that fuel line. Interesting. So it seems like the pump is just having issues sucking the fuel up. Which, I mean, the tank in this, I know that these old mechanical pumps, they suck good. But the line obviously goes under the cab here, up through the floor. And then all the way up, way over the tank here, and then down to the bottom of the tank. So it does have to, like that. So it's not the easiest. It basically has to suck it up over the height of the motor and then back down and around. I also pulled the air cleaner off to check to see if it was squirting fuel. It's not. It seems totally dry, so we're going to try to fill up the bowl here as best we can. Pouring it right down that vent to fill up that bowl. That should be. Yeah, now it's squirting. So now this thing should fire up. Let me get the combustibles out of the way. So now this thing should fire up, right? And make sure you're still in neutral. There we go. And there she goes. It is not sucking fuel. It's sucking something, you know, but fuel ain't it. So that sucks. I know that there's gas in the tank. I know that it's... Realistically, it should have over half a tank. The gauge used to work. Let me see if the gauge still works. Yeah, over 3/4 of a tank. I really don't want to buy a fuel pump for this motor when I'm not going to keep it in here super long. I don't know. We'll see. I have such a hard time believing that the fuel pump went out. Anything's possible, you know, obviously. But I just have a hard time believing it. Let me do a little bit more investigating. Maybe there's like a cracked line somewhere that's creating a vacuum leak, and that's why it's not sucking the fuel up. Alright, got the carb back on, ran a new line here, because this one's like a hydraulic hose almost. I didn't want to fit around things very easily, so this is just some 3/8 line that I had left over from something. Oh, it came with the trans cooler for the Mustang. Anyway, I figured while I'm tightening some hoses, let me crawl under the truck and tighten some clamps up, because I put some air to the tank yesterday and I thought it blew past this. So I was checking that, and then I saw, well, initially this was up there like that, and I pulled it down so that I could check it out, and I noticed that line's completely broken. So that is why it's not sucking the fuel up, because it's just pulling air through there, which is sweet. I should be able to push that down through the cab a little bit more, and then put that hose on there. Alright, there we go. Filter is on. I'm going to crank it over a little bit and see what happens. I'm going to try and pour some fuel down the carb again into the bowl. Hopefully this will let this thing run long enough to create some good vacuum. Dude, and we are dripping again already. This fucking thing. Alright, well, whatever. don't think this thing had a tack in it. We're not leaking there, so that's good. Hell yeah. What a lucky find to wiggle that fuel line and see that hole. You know, it's funny. The other day, I was thinking to myself, man, I should just get rid of this thing. Like, I've got a pretty good truck and trailer. I don't need this. But then how easily this thing navigated my driveway, which on paper looks good, but that truck, if I hug that edge over there, it still almost hits those trees making this turn. It has such a big turning radius. And then this thing being able to just whoop, whop, just like that. This thing's so sick. The one downside is that being a PTO winch, I have to have the truck running and like be in the truck sort of to operate it. And how do I get it? Because it's going uphill right now. So that could be fun. Whereas if it was an electric winch, I could like release it a few feet, push the car back to where it was there, and then sit out here with a controller, bzz, 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 slowly do that while I'm steering it. This, how am I going to navigate this? How am I going to navigate this? Yikes! Alright, naturally the camera battery died mid-unloading it, but we got the car unloaded. It really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be once I got the car over the center of gravity, or over the hump. Oh, yeah. And the truck's running pretty good. I'm sure it's still leaking fuel out of the car, but It's idling pretty good now. I'll show you guys how the winch works in a second. So I'm just gonna hook the cable here for now. And then this lever puts it either in gear out there, or this is neutral, so it freewheels like that. So pop it back in gear. The truck itself is in neutral. This is the lever for the PTO winch. So forward is forward, and then you put the clutch in, and then once you let off the clutch, it starts to suck it in. Nice and tight. Pop that back in neutral so it doesn't try to run while we're driving the truck. Let's make sure. Yep. Alright. Check how tight this is. I got the cable pretty wound up on one side, and you can see it's a little loose there, so someday I'll have to redo that. But for just parking the truck, it's fine. It's a good old truck, man. I like it. All right, and now the Chevelle is in the garage. I already, the other day, got the doors lined up pretty dang good. Like they're hitting the fenders because they're just sitting on there right now. But they open and close really good. All the gaps are pretty good. Better than the Skylark, that's for sure. Up here's a little weird, but I think that's just the way it is. I could probably play with the striker. Maybe once there's the weather stripping that takes up that slop. But so I think I can pull the front end back off of it, start. Well, I'll pull the glass out of it too again, at least the front and rear windshield, because they're just sitting in there. Start sanding, doing all the body work, because it's fairly straight. Like, I think that there's, well, I think that there's a little bit of mud in these rear lips, but I don't think that they packed it in there. Because I can feel the metal where they cut the lips. Like there's a little bit of Bondo here, but I don't think it's anything crazy that I'm worried about. So the car's pretty straight. So I think I can, like I said, pull the glass out, pull the front end off because we're not going to be using those fenders. I was going to say I might paint these also if we have enough of the paint left over, but might not. Once I get these fenders off, I can clean all of this crap up, get that knocked out, and then get the rest of the car ready for paint. I don't know if I'm going to try to paint it myself, which I'll be honest with you guys, I suck at painting. In my mind, I know how to do everything, but in practice, I just am awful. So I don't know if I'm going to try to do that or somehow con my dad into doing that after I get all the body work done, which is the main thing that he didn't want to do. His shoulder's been bugging him for like a year and a half now. So he had started to sand. You can see a little bit this part of the roof. He sanded through there and he was like, my shoulder just can't handle it. So painting being like a quick kind of one day thing might be okay. We'll see. Gonna try to get to work on that and get the Mustang finished up. So So this was a whole lot longer process than I thought it was going to be. What else do I need to do? I need to cut this cage out. Yeah, I need to cut this cage out. I don't know if I'm going to put another cage back in this. I might. And I will leave it there. I might. Because the thing's already, like, I don't want to say cut up, but it's only going to be desirable to, like, us hot rodders, right? Because, like, the code plate on the cowl is missing. Like I showed you guys a couple times now, the frame's a little ugly in a couple spots. Nothing that I'm really concerned about. All the measurements say that this thing should go straight. And the body's good. But I think there's just enough stupid stuff done to it that only us hot rodders are going to want it. I wish that they hadn't done this one so stupid. Like, they got two sides of this plate welded in with some, like, huge 1/4-inch stock underneath of it. And then that is brutal looking. So, like, they didn't take it to the actual frame, right? So there's just, like, dumb stuff done. So, I don't know. We'll play that by ear. Regardless, though, this thing's got to get cut out. The engine for it is right here. This is a 406 small block Chevy, but it should be like a pretty healthy little motor, pretty healthy little small block. I mean, it's got to make 450, 500 horsepower, right? That is the transmission for the 55. I'll probably use one of these Turbo 400s with it, just for future proofing. I do have the 350, the Turbo 350 that came out of the car that I thought about using with it, but I've got 2 spare 400s there that I might as well just use one of those. I think this is the one that came out of that motorhome, and it is complete, so I'll probably just toss that behind there with the stall. Probably put some sort of shift kit in it. So this thing should be pretty fun. Old school hot rod. We'll see how long it stays small block Chevy. But I'm going to quit wasting your guys' time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing the ramp truck actually in use. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing, clicking that bell to get notifications. I'll see you guys next time.